day, everyone. It's Myrdith Leon-McCormack for World Bride Magazine. I want to start by saying thank you guys for everything, all your support. We have successfully completed our first season, and I am so honored to have this amazing young woman, Sara Stanford, here of Bliss Bridal. Hello from Jamaica. Woo, 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 woo. Sara, welcome.
Hi, Meredith. How are you?
I'm doing fabulous. Wishing I was in Jamaica in your beaches doing something fabulous.
Trust me. Yeah, it's pretty hot, but once you're on the beach, you don't want to be anywhere else.
I know. And sipping the drink and good food and all of this, you
The
know.
problem is when you're living here and you're working and you're running a bridal store, you're doing everything else. You just don't have the time.
Oh, I can imagine. And that's really what I wanted to talk about. You are going to be the entry in our anniversary issue, and we're so excited to have you. Thank you so much for your support. And it was so wonderful meeting you at the IAWPE conference, Jamaica version.
Yeah.
And I was pleasantly surprised to see that you were a bridal salon that was brilliant enough to be part of a conference that catered to travelers, destination traveler bookers, to wedding planners. It makes such perfect sense to be in that position because you actually meet the people that are in need of your service for their clients. And now they can refer you because they have someone to reference to.
Exactly.
First, I want to ask you, give us your full name and the
Mhm.
name of your business and where it's located.
All right. So my name is Sara Elizabeth Stanford, and my brands are Bliss Bridal Boutique, which is a physical brick and mortar bridal boutique here located in Kingston, Jamaica.
Mhm.
We've been in business for 14 years, and majority of the stuff we do is for the local brides is rental mainly.
Mhm.
But we also sell designer wedding gowns, and I'm also a wedding dress designer under my other brand, which is Sara E Bridal, where I design and manufacture dresses for brides and do bridal styling as well. So it's a great kind of almost one-stop shop or giving brides, especially destination brides, options as to when it is they're coming to Jamaica, the different services as it relates to their bridal attire. Because I think a lot of brides that are getting married destination wise and they come to Jamaica or wherever it is they're getting married, there's a little bit of nerve surrounding their dress. Is it going to be crushed? How are they going to steam it? What if something happens and they need a quick alteration or anything like that?
Right.
And so that's one of the things that we do here at Sara E Bridal and Bliss Bridal Boutique.
I love that. You have thoroughly touched on all the basic needs when it comes to the fashion of the bride because when someone chooses to go to a destination wedding, I don't think they think about, hey, what if something goes wrong? Even if they bought a dress elsewhere, you still may need assistance in the destination you're there. So it's nice to hear that you're a bridal stylist working with planners that bring their brides, but you're
Correct.
also catering for your locals, and then
100%.
there's a lot of Jamaicans that live abroad, come home and want to get married, but they already
100%.
know you. That's to me, that's just brilliant. Can you
Yeah.
give us briefly some of the designers, one or two of the designers that you carry?
Okay, so I am the only authorized dealer in Jamaica for Maggie Sotero.
Oh,
I introduced Maggie Sotero to Jamaica. See, when I started this business 14 years ago, there was the wedding dress aspect of the whole wedding industry here in Jamaica really wasn't a focus. There were two options. Either a bride is going to rent something locally, and the options were very, very slim, or she was going to fly to New York, fly to Miami, fly to Atlanta, wherever it was, to get her wedding dress. That was it. So when I started the business, it was after I'd gotten engaged how many years ago. And I said, there must be a better way to do this. And we started, really small and social media, Facebook, whatever it was at the time. And Maggie Sotero actually reached out to me because they were looking to expand their reach in the Caribbean.
Wow.
And so
Brilliant.
I took them on as the as a retailer. So Magaseteria is the main one that I carry. I also carry Justin Alexander.
Yay. I
Is
love
the
Justin.
love him. Love him. I met him at New York Bridal Fashion Week when I first started in 2012. He's so fabulous. So those are the two main ones that I carry. I'm always looking to expand the reach, but the challenge I always have is to find designers that price point, first of all, for our ladies here in Jamaica,
Right.
and then those that kind of are a little bit more diverse in who they're able to cater to in terms of style and cut and trends for, let's face it, the women of color. Because a
Right.
lot of what we want is different than what, some other women might be looking for. So I always want to be able to have a wide variety of options that are going to appeal to the Caribbean bride.
And I think that's brilliant because everybody thinks one way. I find, at least in the space I'm in the luxury space, they
Yeah.
only think of one, and there's a small elite pool of designers from the Vera Wangs, Ramona Caveza,
Mhm.
Accra, those are the go-tos. Those are the
Right.
go-to that people, want to, you know, go that
They
direction. And that's
gravitate
what,
to.
and so, but the general brides, the modest bride has the budget. She's willing to spend. She just doesn't have access to it because many of them, like I was mentioning, they're Jamaican, live abroad, but they want to get married back home. They know the
Correct.
fashion, they know what it is, but they're forced to buy only here in America because they're not sold here. So the fact that
Correct.
you have this amazing relationship with these, at least those two brilliant designers, is says a lot about you and your sense of business
Thank you.
doing that. And so the other part about it is when a bride decides, hey, I'm getting married here, meaning half moon, which is the big ones,
Yeah.
they go to half moon, they go to the princess, they go to all of these bigger hotels.
Mm-hmm.
I think the only thing that I noticed that was missing, they don't have you. They don't have access to you that
100%.
brides could say, hey, listen, is there bridal designers or a boutique that can help me cater? They have photographers. I know that for a fact. They have video,
Right. Right.
and I'm sure you can find a good makeup artist because so many of them have
Oh,
fashion
we have
week down
great makeup
there.
artists.
Absolutely. I've been down there for Jamaica Fashion Week. All of these amazing things happen,
Mm-hmm.
but they don't think, is there a bridal stylist available for me here
Correct.
in Jamaica?
Right.
And you don't only do Jamaica, it's anywhere in the
No.
Caribbean. Is that
And
correct?
anywhere in the world, really, right? I've been doing this for 14 years. I have a lot of experience under my belt. And I think for a lot of the diaspora, a lot of the Jamaicans or Caribbean people that want to come back to Jamaica to get married, it's nice to have someone here that knows the lay of the land.
Absolutely.
First of all, and even for the destination bride, because I think you can correct me if I'm wrong, a lot of the anxiety for a destination bride is surrounded by the fact that she's leaving her comfort zone to come to a completely different country where she doesn't know the culture, right? Doesn't know the currency necessarily, and just doesn't really know how to navigate. And you already have all the stresses of your wedding day to deal with. So having a stylist like me that's going to be there to take care of everything from your dress to your bridesmaids to your mom, whatever the case is. If you have having issues finding the right makeup artist, because you can go on Instagram and TikTok and look at all the videos and the pictures. But when you're a destination bride, one, you don't have necessarily a chance to do a makeup trial, right? You don't have a chance, so you don't know. So you need to rely on what the makeup artist tells you he or she can do. But
Right.
if you have a stylist like me that have worked with specific makeup artists and we have a discussion, we know what it is that you want, then I can align you with the right makeup artist. I can align you with the right hairstylist. I've done things with grooms. I had a groom come back to me just the other day where they needed suits, but the suits were being made overseas and they had no idea what suit sizes they were. So they all came in, and between me and my seamstress, we measured them all up. I converted all the measurements to suit sizes, sent it up to the designer, and
Wow.
then all the suits were made and they came back and they fit perfectly.
Wow.
Those are the type of services, concierge services that I offer to a lot of our destination brides, especially the ones who are from Jamaica and, coming here, but they're bringing a lot of stuff from the States, or they just need that somebody there to bridge that gap for them.
I,
And that's what I do.
and I also love the fact that you said that you are you can custom make, you can do bespoke, meaning like you did with the gentleman, you can measure people, you can
Yeah,
do these things for people. So the local brides, hey, I need a dress and this is my budget. That's where you definitely could fit right in and service
100%.
your own region, which is really important, which helps with
Right.
economy and making brides who come here. And it might be just their second dress. They might say, hey, I have my
That's
main
okay.
dress, but I need an
Yep.
alteration to it. Can you do that? And by the way, can you make me a little cocktail dress for the rehearsal
Oh,
dinner or something else? I love
yeah.
that. I love that. I think
Yeah,
it's
thanks.
absolutely
Yeah,
brilliant.
definitely. I did that for a bride the other day. She had her main dress, but she wanted a cute little reception dress, and we did a cute little, really mini, but like with all the beading and everything. Oh, she was so happy.
I love
Yeah,
that. I love
yeah,
that.
definitely,
And so
definitely.
now you have a team of people. So you're not relegated to just yourself. Because in
No,
talking to you in the past, you told me that you did something with 16 people, a wedding party. I'm like, oh
oh
my
my God,
God. I think
I
that's
really shocked you
amazing.
with that one.
I think it's something else, but it shows the capacity of what you can do so that
Yeah,
it opens up doors to people that have big wedding parties to know
right.
that you are at their disposal in the islands, in the Caribbean.
Yeah, 100%. Because you may have your wedding planner here, but I always say the wedding planner is dealing with catering and decor and florals and, outing all these fires. Who's there for the bride and her bridal party?
Right.
On when in that bridal suite when, she just wants to be able to enjoy the day and relax and that sort of thing. So that's what I'm there for from beginning to end. So from pre-wedding to on the wedding day, the day before, come and steam out all the dresses, prep all the dresses, get everything done, get her dressed. I work very closely with photographers, very, very closely with the photographers and the content creators. Because one of the worst things I hate to see is a bride in a beautiful picture and her train is just not, you're missing half the beauty of the dress when she's not fluffed properly, or,
Yes.
a strap is falling, just different things that most photographers may not pick up on because they're focusing on the lighting or whatever else. So
Right.
I'm there as kind of the bride's right hand man, so to
I love
speak,
that.
right? To help her through the whole process and just to make sure she's picture perfect from beginning to end.
And the other thing that you mentioned is you work with other stylists. So if a style, let's say a bride is coming from New York and she's unable to travel for whatever reason, you're available to help them out and
100%.
deliver. And that's the beauty. We live in a world that feels competition. There's healthy competition, and then there's those, you're gonna steal my client. I'm of the mentality that I rather my clients see that I'm able to deliver all over the world rather than
Nope.
keep it to myself. If she can't, she chooses not to fly me, put me up in a hotel, and all the other things that come with traveling. She
Right.
says, hey, I have Sara, my partner here, my local partner there
Local
that can
partner.
take care of you. And I love that idea that you're confident enough in your skill and you're
Yeah.
skilled enough in what you do that someone could be confident that their client will be taken care
Will
of.
be taken care of. 100%. I mean, the competition thing is always a sticky thing, but after being so many years in the business, I was able to reach a point where I said, competition, one, like you said, is healthy, and it creates an ability for you to create a partnership in all the different areas.
Mhm.
So at the end of the day, your goal is to work with your bride and satisfy your bride or your couple. It's
Right,
not about your ego. So if reaching out to a supposed competitor is going to help your bride execute what she needs to execute, then fine. Because guess what? When her best friend's getting married, or
yep,
her sister or her coworker, she's going to say,
yep,
you know what? I couldn't use Sara because of X, but here's her number, give her a call. Here's her
right,
Instagram. Reach out. You know what I mean? So
exactly. I
yeah, it's all
believe
about working together at
I
the end of
just
the day.
believe that in this world, there's enough money for everyone in sharing it isn't ever going to hurt anyone. And I could never take away your shine. That's my personal belief. You know,
Right, right.
I want my friends to be as powerful as I am. And the goal is, how do we deliver on our reputation of being professionals, which is a
Meredith,
real challenge.
as a Caribbean yourself or of Caribbean descent, and I don't know if I'm not saying just Caribbean because I don't know, but that kind of crab in a barrel mentality that we've been grown with is hard to shake. It's one of the hardest things to shake
Mm-hmm,
because we always tend to see somebody else as our competition. And if we bring them in, they're going to see how we do this or we're going to see how we do that. But
mm-hmm.
over the years, I've developed so much confidence in what I do, who I am, the business and the brand that we've built over here. I'm good with it. And I just wish that more Caribbean people would kind of embrace that thought process. We would get so much further.
Oh,
So much
absolutely.
freedom.
There's so
Yeah.
many people that traveled to Jamaica, was the number one destination for years. And now
Mhm.
all the other islands are getting residuals from that, from the Bahamas, Aruba, Curacao, who we had the pleasure of working with, some of these islands. And then Dubai came in and swept it all away.
Lift everybody up.
Literally said, no, we're going to be the number one. And people were willing to travel 9, 10, 11 hours to get to Dubai to have this dream wedding.
Extravagant wedding, yeah.
I just couldn't believe it. And then Italy came in. Now Italy is the number one destination that people are researching to have
Yeah.
the weddings. And the average thing that people don't understand, the average wedding that destination wedding, the count is from 40 to 80 people that come down there. That's a pretty
Oh,
nice
that's
size.
a pretty decent number,
Yeah,
yeah.
and Italy was getting all the buyouts and everything else. And I'm just super excited because I'm about to go to Malta in a couple of days. I mean,
Ooh.
yeah, in a couple of days. And I am getting ready to see how Malta, this iconic biblical island, literally is going to come in and give
Oh,
everyone a run for their money.
ay, ay, ay. I feel like, well, then some of us from Jamaica and the Caribbean need to go and see what they have going on
I
too. But I think
agree.
sometimes we get stuck in this bubble. Jamaica, I love my country. Jamaica is beautiful, and I think it's the most beautiful place for a destination wedding. But sometimes you can't rest on your laurels. You have to realize that there's always somebody else, especially in this day and age of social
Absolutely.
media, where people have so much access to see the rest of
And
the world
options.
and
Options.
options. Yeah, we have to make sure that we're continuing to be in the game, in a way that we used to. So, we will to try and see if we can get Jamaica Tourist Board on the phone, and we'll head over to Malta with you.
Yes, let's go. Let's go. So, what are some tips you want to give brides that are coming to the island and in hiring vendors like yourself? What should they be asking and looking for?
Well, first of all, do your research and ask for reviews, but not like, just don't just look on Instagram or TikTok and say, oh, this is beautiful, this is whatever. You need the real deal, right? And so you can look, Google reviews are usually pretty good. But if you find a really good planner, for example, rely on her or him to kind of feed you out to the other vendors,
Right.
right? Planners have preferred vendors for a reason. They have preferred vendors because they've worked with these vendors and they know how to execute. They're not just saying, "Oh, this is a preferred vendor because this is my friend and I want to give her the business."
Right.
Right? They know who they're working with. So find a good planner and then use him or her to help to filter you out to some of the other vendors that exists or that you may need.
I love that. That's a really
Yeah.
good tip. Now, how would our brides find you? And do you give, like, for instance, they're here in the US or they're in England and they're in the Middle East and they're coming to Jamaica to get married. How do how do they get a consultation with you without physically being there? Do you do Zoom things like this?
100%. 100%. We can do Zoom online consultation, WhatsApp if that's easier, whichever they prefer. Right. You can find me on Instagram at Bliss Bridal JA and the styling brand at Sara E Bridal. Right. And those are on Instagram, all socials.
Okay.
And if you want a consultation, you can send me a DM. You can shoot an email to sarah@blissja.com. Let me know what it is that you're looking for, and then we'll schedule a consultation. Whether it is you want a design consultation for some wedding dress advice, you want me to design you a custom gown, whether you just want to talk about your styling services,
Right.
if the grooms need help, whatever the case is, you can always just reach out to me through my email, through my website, which is
What's your email?
blissja.com.
What's
My
your email?
email is my email is Sara SARA at blissja.com, BLISSJA.com. And
Fantastic.
then one other thing, I also have a podcast. It's called the I'll Be Damned podcast. It's wait, hold on. Yep, there you go. I'll Be Damned podcast, right?
Is that where
AISLE.
you
It's me.
spill all the tea?
It's where I spill all the tea. It's with me and a wedding planner here in Jamaica, and luxury destination wedding planner. Her name is Terry Myrie. We've worked together for years, and we decided to get together to do a podcast to help the destination bride who's getting married in Jamaica, to give her all the tips, the tricks. We talk about industry background stuff, so we take care of it all. So, and that's on YouTube.
I love that. I love that. What
Yeah.
made you decide to start this podcast?
Um, I've always wanted to be honest with you, was just been a little bit apprehensive and insecure about it. But one day I just said, you know what, let me just do it. But I didn't want to do it by myself because my focus is wedding dresses.
Right.
But I wanted it to be about the entire wedding experience and wedding journey. And so I decided Terry and I spoke and I said, come on, let's get this thing done. And she was like, okay. And it's been one of the most fun things that we've done so far. And people are really enjoying it. We don't really hold anything back.
I know.
Talk about the industry stuff because the wedding industry has always been a little bit elusive to the average bride. We're not very open when it comes to pricing and why we do things, and
That's a
I think
big
that's one of the biggest,
conversation.
yeah, and it's one of the biggest pain points for most couples. So we wanted to create a space where we could talk about some of that stuff and kind of unveil, remove the veil of some of the background stuff that happens in the industry and why we do what we do. Like I said in that episode one time, we're not charging what we're charging or having our standards or rules because we're being mean. There's reasons for everything. There's an experience that we have behind us, why we do things the way we do, even why we don't post our pricing,
Prices change based on experience, what
so
you
many.
want, and the services that you want. And I think that's the big thing that people don't seem to realize. We're not saying that there's not shady people out there that,
Fair.
1 minute, you say, hey, I'd like to get a cake, and it's okay, $300. The minute you say it's a wedding, it's $3,000. You're like,
Yeah.
wait, what happened?
What
The
happened?
numbers
Right.
didn't change and so on. We know there's shady people, but at the same
Right.
time, we also know there's amazing artists that have earned the right to charge what they charge because it's a production for them. So when I hear a Ron Ben Israel telling me that his cake is $1,000 or $3,000 or whatever it is, I look at his history, I look at what he's doing, I see the intricacy of what he's making, and then I'm like, the name, it is what it is. You don't go to Hyundai and say, hey, can I see the Ferrari? Hyundai doesn't have Ferraris.
Right. And
What
you
are
don't
you
go to
asking
the and
for?
say, why are you so expensive?
Right. You either have it or you don't.
You either have it or you don't.
And
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of there's been this influx of people in the industry that has changed things, and just because they did their daughter's wedding or their sister's wedding or cousin's wedding, now everybody thinks that they're a planner.
Everybody's a planner. Everybody's an expert in the wedding industry.
And just because now I have an iPhone, I think I'm a photographer because I have a couple of good shots. That is not what you're paying for. You're paying for the skills, the experience, the talent of the person that has the eye in creating this and alleviate you of the
Right.
pressure and the
Right.
guesswork of what am I going to
Correct.
get at the end of the night? You know,
100%.
so I
150%.
feel like that's the conversation we need to start having a little bit more as an industry, justifying things. I'm going to tell you my quick little story.
Yeah.
I used to be a celebrity manicurist. I started out in a salon, and it was over 35 years ago. So I was doing nails for $15 and manicure and pedicure $15. You can get a whole
Okay.
manicure and pedicure for $15. $20 if it was decent spot, in a better neighborhood, maybe
In a
even
better neighborhood.
25.
Yeah.
It was just expensive. Then when I got to the big times, and now I'm at Warren Chacomey on 57th Street, I go from $25 for a manicure to and $45 for a pedicure, and getting $25 tips. And it's like,
Ooh.
oh my God,
Oh, okay.
that's a big jump. Then
Right.
but I didn't get there like that overnight. It took me
Right.
5 years to build my name, my reputation. And then by then, I had been testing, working with photographers on magazines to get tear sheets, and doing
Mm.
celebrities and earning my position. And now I have an agent who takes a percentage from 15 to 20%. And that was 30 years ago, 35 years ago, of every job booking that I got. But now
Really?
my rate went from $75 for a service, and now I'm making $150 for one manicure and
For
pedicure,
one manicure and
maybe.
pedicure.
And it's just being there. Then there's this editorial thing that I'm doing. I'm getting $150 to $250 a day doing a manicure. I might have one model, I might have four models, but it
Yeah.
is about me. I had earned my place. Now I have
Right.
brands sending me products. They're sending me tools. Now I'm
Cool.
doing shows. I'm traveling the world. I'm in Miami, Paris, London, doing all these shows because now I am Myrdith Leon-McCormack, the celebrity manicurist.
That manicure. You
And
know
it
what I love about
took
what I love
years.
about that story is when you look at where you started and the hustle and how you had to work, excuse me, and the time that it took and the patience. You said it took 5 years. I feel like a lot of people coming into the industry now, nobody wants to wait 5 years.
Oh no,
Nobody wants to, excuse me, nobody wants to wait 5 years. Nobody wants
nope.
to put in the work because, again, social media makes it look
Like it's
like
instant,
that. And
literally
it's never
instant.
like that.
Now,
Right before I started this bridal business, my brother and I owned our own courier company for 10 years.
whew,
And we built it to a point where, excuse me, I don't have a frog in my throat.
no,
we
drink some
built it to
tea.
a point. We built it to a point where our main competitor said, "Hey, we want to buy you," and
Mm,
offered to purchase. And good, bad, or indifferent, we sold.
yep,
Right? That took us 10 years to build. I'm here now, 14 years later.
yep.
It doesn't happen overnight,
No.
you know?
And people's idea of overnight is okay. And I think Iris Eniffel said it. She says it took her 40 years. Oh, yeah. It happened overnight, 40 years overnight.
40 years.
You know what I'm saying? Something to that degree. But I think
Yep.
people don't understand. And I get this with World Bride magazine. I often get oh, I haven't heard of you. That's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay. You haven't heard of me. How long have you been in business? It's 20 years. How are you in the industry for 10 years and you've never decided to Google magazines, editors, or whatever? But
Right, right,
it's
right.
okay. I realize that people have not done their research, that and as easily as it can be at your fingertip,
At your fingertip,
people still
literally.
don't do their research. And so for me, starting this podcast and these conversation is giving people backstories on who you're buying from, who you're doing
Hmm.
business with, because they can read a review on, Google and all that other stuff. But until they meet you and they know your backstory, you're taking a chance.
100%.
You're literally
100%.
taking a chance. And
Especially
that
with something that's this personal.
absolutely. And the amount of
Huh?
money the average bride is spending is between in the US, the average, we're not talking about the high end,
Right.
35 to 55, $60,000. That's a big chunk of money for 1 or 2 days, however
Yep.
you look at it. So when people
100%.
try to shame people for not spending a lot of money, that's in perspective. We have to put these things into perspective as to what we're
Mhm.
really talking about. And
Right.
people are inviting strangers and depending on strangers based on other people's review and experiences on why they should hire you. So I'm never offended when someone asks, well, can I see your portfolio? Can I see your work? I
Right,
want
right,
my
right.
work to speak for itself,
100%.
So
Yeah,
that's why I was
100%.
so excited meeting you in Jamaica at the IAWPE conference. I saw your business sense. The fact that you even wanted to be in that room with the most amount
Hmm.
of people that
Hmm.
you can expose yourself to and meet and told me everything about you.
Oh, thank you.
It
Thank you. I
literally
mean,
did.
it was never a question in my mind once I found out about it. And because it was just an opportunity to just be in a room with people that I would never have an opportunity to meet. I would have never met you had I not been there. And
Yeah.
I just want to say, Myrdith, and to your audience who may see you on the podcast and don't really know much about you, it is a very rare experience to meet somebody that just what's the word I'm using? Wants to lift you up and wants to support
Oh,
you. You and I met at lunch,
yep.
right?
With
Because I was
Jacqueline.
talking with Jacqueline, right? And you were at the table. We met, and I told this story to some friends when I came back. You grilled me the first time we sat down. Oh, okay. So why are you doing this? And da, da, da. I was like, okay. And I just kind of answered all your questions. But it was one of the best experiences. And then you and I just walked around that conference
Yeah.
together. And it was a beautiful thing to be a part of, to see one woman to another, no ego,
No.
no nothing. You saw whatever you saw in me. I saw whatever I saw in you, and we just gelled. And it
Absolutely.
was it was it was beautiful. And if this is, and I believe this is just who you genuinely are.
I
And
do
if when you go
try.
around in spaces, this is what you do, um, you're an absolute gem.
Thank
And for any
you.
person that meets you, any
Thank
younger
you.
person that meets you in the industry, you're it. You are the
Oh,
real deal. You
I
are the real deal,
appreciate it.
Meredith. I'm not gonna lie.
I just feel that I've had been given the same privilege. Somebody saw something in me and took me on. Peter Brown, Diane Hendy, Deborah Hairbay, all these people said, come on, let's go. And they shared their resources for me.
Yeah,
And I
yeah,
believe that if I don't share my resources with others, there's no way I could honestly, authentically go before God and ask Him for any blessing. It's not coming. You can't
fair.
be selfish, and think that you're always going to be, rewarded for it. And so for me, it's
Right,
really important because my community depends on the community.
right.
So that's it. Well, thank
Yeah.
you so much for your
No,
time. I'm
my
excited to be
pleasure.
working with you, and I'm coming to see you in Kingston sooner than later because I
Ooh,
want to
can't
go
wait.
come and hang out. I want to see what's happening in the region. So please,
Definitely.
as we close this off, can you tell us your website and contact information?
All right. So the website is blissja.com. That's BLISSJA.com. My email, you can email either info@blissja, or if you want me personally, you can info Sara, that's SARA, at blissja.com.
Fantastic. Thank you, Sara.
Thank you so much,
I,
Meredith.
I look
It's been
forward
a
to
pleasure.
working with you.
Same here. All right.
Thank you. So, guys, there
Bye.
you have it. That was Sara of Bliss Bridal in Jamaica in Kingston. Let's go. We're going to go check her out. So, I want you guys to stay tuned and come to the website. You're going to read the story about her. And please listen to this video in full and to its entirety. You will fall in love with her and follow her on the podcast. Until the next time, ciao, Bella.
Bye.